You're born in Roman Judea. It's a land of taxes, sandals, and daily prayers where the most exciting thing to happen this month was a goat getting loose in the temple courtyard. Your job prospects? Either farming, fishing, or being crushed by taxes until you resemble a sentient raisin. You grow up just like every other good Jewish boy, learning Torah by candlelight, helping your father fix a leaky roof, and dodging Roman soldiers who have way too much armor and not enough chill. You pray for peace. Instead, you get the 3 C's: curfews, crucifixions, and census forms. Years pass and you're in your 20s. You choose to work as a shepherd. It's not glamorous. You sleep next to sheep. You smell like sheep. And occasionally fight off hungry wolves with a stick you named Sword of David. Life is simple, predictable, safe. Then one day you hear rumors. Some guy named Jesus is wandering around Galilee talking about the kingdom of heaven, healing people, flipping tables, and saying very un-Roman things, which is usually unsafe things. And unsafe is not your thing. So you assume it's another prophet, maybe a little dramatic, but definitely not your business. Well, until it becomes your business. One sunny afternoon, while you and the wolves next door are watching for the other's next move, a man walks up with a 12-man entourage. He says he's Jesus. You wonder if he's the same Jesus you've heard about. This one hasn't got sandals of fire, just a carpenter turned rabbi with intense eyes and the vibe of someone who knows exactly when you last cried. He says 2 words: follow me. And for reasons you still can't explain, you do. You leave the sheep. You leave your job. You leave your family without even finishing your figs. And just like that, you're not a shepherd anymore. You're a disciple. The 13th to be exact. Which, as you'll soon learn, is ancient Hebrew for unpaid homeless public relations intern for the Son of God. Enjoy the ride. It's been months since you gave up your life to follow a carpenter. Not just any carpenter. Jesus of Nazareth. The one people whisper about. The one who can make a blind man see and make a tax collector give up gold. You left your sheep, your parents, and a perfectly decent clay mug in the rush. Now you're on the road. All the time. With 12 grown men and 1 Messiah. It's not glamorous. You sleep under the stars. Or in barns. Or wherever someone doesn't throw rocks at you. Your sandals die. Your feet blister. You eat what people give you, which is often fish. Always fish. Dried fish. Pickled fish. Fish so old even seagulls decline politely.
Nope.
Damn you, Peter.
Huh?
Every day starts the same. Sunrise, prayers, walking, more walking, then more walking.
Bruh.
You think your legs might detach themselves in protest. But Jesus walks like he's not even touching the ground. Peter calls it holy stamina. Jesus teaches while walking. In parables. Always parables. You once asked him what something meant. He smiled and said, "He who has ears, let him hear." You have ears, but apparently the wrong ones. Matthew says it's deep. You think it's confusing. The miracles keep coming. Lepers healed. Demons cast out. A paralyzed man walks again. People cheer. Then they mob you. Some cheer. Some spit. The Pharisees frown so hard it makes your chest hurt. They call you a heretic, a fool. Say you're following a demon-possessed magician. They promise fire and judgment. You try not to listen, but you remember every word. The Romans? They don't care about your theology. They just see crowds. Crowds means unrest. Unrest means crucifixions. And you? You're caught in the middle. Too Jewish for the pagans. Too pagan for the priests. You miss your old life sometimes. Shepherding. Quiet. Temple prayers. Now you've got dust in your eyes and blisters on your soul. You want to believe all this will make sense, that you're not just wandering toward a Roman sword. But Jesus keeps going. And so do you. The group has dynamics. Peter acts like the big brother, loud, impulsive, the first to speak and the first to regret it. He argues with everyone, including Jesus, and somehow keeps getting away with it. John is gentle, always asking big questions and writing things down. James, the other thunder brother, snores like thunder. Then there's Judas. He handles the money. He's always watching, always calculating. You try to like him, you do. But something's off. His eyes don't smile, even when his mouth does. You don't say anything because no one else does.
Nope.
But you keep your distance. At night, Jesus prays alone, for hours, sometimes crying. You pretend not to hear, but it scares you. After all, what could make the man who raised Lazarus cry? Some days you believe, truly believe. Other days, you wonder if you've lost your mind. But every time you think about leaving, you remember his eyes, the way he looks at people, like he already knows everything broken in them, and still smiles. So you follow. Through storms, through mobs, through miracles, through miles. You don't know where it's all leading, but something in your gut whispers, it won't end that way. 3 years have passed since you became a disciple, and you're in Jerusalem. You've been here before, sure, but not like this. Not with Jesus. Not with crowds shouting, Hosanna, and throwing palm branches. Not with the Messiah bouncing gently on a borrowed donkey like it's some kind of holy parade float. It feels like victory. Like, maybe this is the moment he finally does it. Overthrows Rome. Crowns himself king.
Wow.
Fixes everything. Except he just looks tired. Not like a conqueror. More like someone walking towards something heavy. The city's on edge. The Pharisees are watching. Roman soldiers mutter from the shadows. Judas? Still lurking. Still quiet. Still suspicious. Every time he clinks the money bag, your spine flinches. You've said it before and you'll say it again. There's something off about him. And every time you say it, someone rolls their eyes and tells you to be charitable.
Nope.
But charity has limits. And yours ran out 2 towns ago. Then comes the supper. A quiet room. Wine. Bread. Laughter that feels forced. Jesus stands and says, "One of you will betray me." Everyone freezes. You glance at Judas. He's buttering bread. One by one, the others ask, "Is it me?" You don't bother. You just stare at Judas. He's fidgeting, then excuses himself for something urgent. Hours later, you're in the garden. It's late. You should be asleep. But Jesus asked you to stay awake. You fail. Everyone fails. Then soldiers with torches wake you up. Judas leads them straight to Jesus and kisses him on the cheek, like a friend. The same Judas you never trusted. Peter explodes, draws his sword, slices off someone's ear. You panic. Jesus tells Peter to put the sword away. Then he heals the soldier. They take him. Just like that. Peter follows at a distance. So do you. You hide in alleys. You watch from the shadows. Someone tells you Peter denied knowing Jesus.
Nope.
3 times. You don't believe it. You catch Peter outside crying. He doesn't say anything, You don't either. You can't watch the crucifixion. You just don't go. You sit behind a wall, close enough to feel it, far enough not to see it. You remember what he said. In 3 days, I will rise. So you wait. Everyone else seems to be running, scattering, hiding. You stay in Jerusalem. You don't sleep. You don't speak. You just sit, eyes on the horizon, counting hours, watching shadows. Because if he was wrong, then everything you gave up, everything you saw, everything you believed was all for nothing. But if he was right, then nothing will ever be the same. 3 days. That's how long you sit in silence, holed up with the others. Windows shuttered, voices hushed. You barely speak, except to repeat the same terrified mantra. They'll come for us next. Then, the knock. It's Mary. Breathless, eyes wild. She says Jesus is gone. Stone rolled away. No body. Neatly folded burial clothes like he just finished doing laundry. Peter bolts. You and John follow. You've never seen Peter run so fast. You've also never seen him cry and laugh at the same time. Until now. You reach the tomb. And it's true. Empty. And for a few minutes, no one knows what to feel. Hope? Grief? Gas? Nobody knows. And that's when he appears. Jesus shows up to Mary. Then to the two on the road to Emmaus. Then to the rest of you in a locked room. Because apparently, resurrected Jesus doesn't knock. He just appears. He says, "Peace be with you." Which, frankly, is a terrible opener when you've just popped into a room like a ghost. You scream. Peter screams. Even Bartholomew screams. And he hasn't said much of anything in 3 years. But it's him. You know it. The way he smiles. Thomas isn't there, of course.
Nope.
And when you tell him later, he calls you a liar. But when Jesus appears to him, he believes. And you never let him live that down. You even come up with a nickname for him. Meanwhile, you hear Judas is dead. Hung himself. Some say his guts spilled out. Some say his land is cursed. You don't care.
Nope.
Eventually, Jesus gathers everyone. Talks about the kingdom. Tells you to wait in Jerusalem. Then he floats.
What?
Literally. Into the sky. Clouds take him. And you all stare like confused children watching a balloon disappear. Except this balloon is never going to pop. So you stay in Jerusalem. You wait. Then Pentecost. Wind. Flames. Voices. Suddenly you're speaking languages you've never learned. Preaching in tongues. Quoting scripture you only half understood before. People think you're drunk. At 9 a.m. Peter sets them straight. Delivers a sermon so good, 3,000 people decide to get baptized immediately. From that day on, it's like a wildfire. You preach. You heal. You run. The same people who cried Hosanna are now telling Rome you're a threat. You duck through alleys. You sleep in cellars. You preach in synagogues. Well, until they throw you out. Then you preach in the streets, in homes, in tombs if you have to. And every time you say his name, someone listens, someone changes, and someone else sharpens a blade. This is your life now. You spread the gospel, dodge arrests, change towns, repeat. You've become what Roman bureaucrats call a known agitator, and what your friends back home call probably dead by now. The miracles are still happening. People are still getting healed. The word is spreading, but so is the danger. Rome's got a new emperor now. They call him Nero, and he's a real pain in the neck. Like, off with his head kind of pain. Because of him, the group's scattered now. Some went east, others to Greece, and others to Egypt. You're in Syria this week. Or maybe Galilee. It's hard to keep track. Every city looks the same from under a hood and behind a veil. The meetings are secret. The baptisms are fast. The food is always bread, fish, and tension. Sometimes in a safe house you see Peter. He still has that fire in his eyes. Still bossy. Still brave. You once saw him curse a demon out of a woman, then trip over a chicken. Balance. You share war stories. He asks how you're holding up. You say, still breathing. He says, for now. You both laugh. It's not funny. You get new members. Paul, formerly Saul, joins the team. At first, you're skeptical. After all, he did try to kill all of you. But he's got zeal, connections, and way too much energy for a man with 3 stonings on his resume. You heard Stephen was stoned to death for preaching in the wrong place at the wrong time. James, son of Zebedee, executed by Herod. No trial, no warning. You get the news secondhand, while hiding in a storage room behind a butcher's shop in Samaria. You don't cry. You just sit there, staring at a sack of onions for 3 hours. The authorities aren't just arresting you anymore. They're using your name in wanted scrolls. You're no longer a disciple. You're one of those disciples. More names disappear. Thaddeus, gone. Bartholomew, flayed alive. Thomas, killed in India, they say. No bodies, just rumors and grief. You keep going. You keep preaching. Because stopping feels worse. The fear doesn't leave. It just moves from your chest to your gut and settles there like a rock. You change names now. You travel under aliases. Josephus, Nahum, that guy with sandals. But some people still recognize you. You were with him, they whisper. And for a second, you smile. Because yeah, you were. You're 70 now. Not that anyone's counting. No one celebrates birthdays when the emperor's trying to kill you. But your knees crack like temple doors, and your beard's gone completely gray. If you had stuck to shepherding, you'd be retired now. But at this job, there's no stopping. You've been preaching for decades, walking across deserts, hiding in tombs, baptizing in rivers, and writing letters no one will read for thousands of years. But luckily, or unluckily, you've outlived almost everyone. Peter was crucified upside down in Rome. Wouldn't shut up about Jesus, even while dying. Andrew, tied to a cross for 2 days, still preaching between gasps. James, thrown from the temple, then beaten with a club. They didn't just die. They were ended. Loudly, publicly, as examples. Only John, who is called the unkillable now, survived everything they threw at him. Got exiled to some rock in the sea, probably still writing poetic riddles and surviving on lizard stew. But not you. Not yet. You still talk about Jesus. But fewer people listen now. The empire is tightening. Churches are scattering. Some have gone silent. Some twisted the teachings into whatever gets them less dead. Others, most, just vanished. You think about quitting, about slipping into the hills. Let the next generation carry the cross. Literally. But then you see someone healed, someone forgiven, a child smile when you tell them the story. And someone always asks, was it true? Did he really rise? And you say yes. Because after everything, the fear, the loss, the running, you also saw something come back to life. One night you're alone. Some nameless village, some borrowed roof. You walk out beneath the stars. Same sky as the night in Galilee. And for a second, you hear it again. Not angels, not thunder, just Jesus, laughing as Peter hands you fish, while he hands you bread, telling you not to be afraid. You smile. Maybe this isn't the end. Or maybe it is. Either way, you were there. You followed. And that was enough. You die quietly. No epilogue, no pyre, no crowd. Just old bones in a cold room. A breath let go, like a prayer. Years pass, then centuries. The Romans fall. Other empires rise. No scrolls bear your name. No churches chanted. The world forgets the 13 disciples. But heaven remembers. And maybe that's all that ever mattered.